did I do to my camera? Hey. Oopsie. Got it on the wrong camera. Good morning, you guys. I cannot adjust. I have never had this much issue. I cannot adjust to daylight savings time. Oh my word, I overslept again. I set my alarm for 5 and I was really tired when I woke up. I got up and I peed and all that stuff, and I was like, I feel like I could get another hour sleep and just sleep until 6 this morning. That will help. I'm just gonna sleep until 6. And then I shut my alarm off, and when it went off at 6 again. So I'm wicked late, I'm sorry. And, oh my gosh. So I overslept until 6:30. It was like 6:40 almost. I'm like, honest Pete, I just can't seem to adjust. My headache, I am on day like 5 of having a headache. I can't get it to go away. All right, enough complaining, KJ. Move on to the word. Stop the complaining. People of Israel dealing with a lot more than a headache and sleeping in. I guess, Faith, I don't remember ever having this issue before. Maybe I have and I just block it. But I just did. I just chugged a bunch of water, Sherry. I've been drinking water like crazy. I've been drinking a ton of hibiscus. I don't know if maybe that causes headaches, but I haven't had any for 14 hours, so I shouldn't still have a headache. But, oh my gosh, it's just right here. I just won't seem to go away. I've taken a lot of ibuprofen, and I don't normally have to take very much. All right, March 15th, new tablets of stone, Deuteronomy 10, 1 through 11, 1405 or 1239 BC. At that time, the Lord said to me, chisel out 2 stone tablets like the first ones. Also make a wooden ark, a sacred chest to store them in. Come up to me on the mountain, and I will write on the tablets the same words that were on the ones you smashed. Then place the tablets in the ark. So I made an ark of acacia wood and cut 2 stone tablets like the first 2. Then I went up to the mountains with the tablets in my hand. Once again, the Lord wrote the 10 commandments on the tablets and gave them to me. They were the same words the Lord had spoken to you from the heart of the fire on the day you were assembled at the foot of the mountain. Then I turned and came down the mountain and placed the tablets in the ark of the covenant, which I made just as the Lord commanded me. And the tablets are still there in the ark. The people of Israel set out from the wells of the people of Jacob and traveled to Masera, where Aaron died and was buried. His son Eleazar ministered as the high priest in his place. Then they journeyed to Gudgoda, and there to Jobatha, a land with many brooks and streams. Bassie, come here. You distracted me. Come here, buddy. Come here. Go ahead and get a drink. His toenails clicking are distracting me. At the same time, the Lord set apart the tribe of Levi to carry the ark of the Lord's covenant and to stand before the Lord as their ministers and to pronounce blessings in his name. These are their duties to this day. That is why the Levites That is why the Levites have no share of property or possession among the I can't read. That is why the Levites have no share of property or possession of land among the other Israelite tribes. The Lord himself is their special possession, as the Lord your God told them. As for me, I stayed on the mountain in the Lord's presence for 40 days and nights, as I had done the first time. And once again the Lord listened to my pleas and agreed not to destroy you. Then the Lord said to me, get up and resume your journey, and lead the people to the land I swore to give their ancestors, so they may take possession of it. A call to love and obedience, Deuteronomy 10:12 through 11:7. Bassie, come here. Lay down. Lay down, please. Lay down. Come over here. Come over here. Come on. You can't get there from here. You can't get here from there. Come on, over here. Lay down, please. You're causing me frustration. Lay down. I don't want your peanut butter, Matt. Lay down, buddy. Lay down. Lay down for me, okay? Lay down. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Lay down. Lay down. Oh my gosh. And now, Israel, what does the Lord your God require of you? He requires only that you fear the Lord your God and live in a way that pleases him, and love him and serve him with all of your heart and soul. And you must always obey the Lord's commands and decrees that I am giving you today for your own good. Look at the highest heavens and the earth and everything in it. It all belongs to the Lord your God. Yet the Lord chose your ancestors as objects of his love, and he chose you, their descendants, above all other nations, as is evident today. Therefore, change your hearts and stop being stubborn. For the Lord your God is a God of God for the Lord your God is the God of gods and the Lord of lords. He is the great God, the mighty and awesome God, who shows no partiality and cannot be bribed. He ensures that orphans and widows receive justice. He shows love to the foreigners among you and gives them food and clothing. So you, too, must show love to foreigners, for you yourselves were once foreigners in the land of Egypt. You must fear the Lord your God and worship him and cling to him. Your oath must be in his name alone. He alone is your God, the only one who is worthy of your praise, the one who has done these mighty miracles and that you have seen with your own eyes. When your ancestors went down into Egypt, there were only 70 of them, but now the Lord your God has made you as numerous as the stars in the sky. You must love the Lord your God and always obey his requirements, decrees, regulations, and commands. Keep in mind that I am not talking to your children who have never experienced the discipline of the Lord your God or seen his greatness and his strong hand and powerful arm. They didn't see the miraculous signs and wonders he performed in Egypt against Pharaoh and all of his land. They didn't see what the Lord did to the armies of Egypt and to their horses and chariots, and how he drowned them in the Red Sea as they were chasing you. He destroyed them, and they have not recovered to this very day. Your children didn't see how the Lord cared for you in the wilderness until you arrived here. They didn't see what he did to Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and the descendants of Reuben, who, when the earth opened its mouth in the Israelite camp and swallowed them, along with their households, tents, and everything living there that belonged to them. But you have seen the Lord perform all these mighty deeds with your very own eyes. The blessings of obedience, Deuteronomy 11:8-32. Therefore be careful to obey every command I am giving you today, so you may have strength to go in and take over the land you are about to enter. If you obey, you will enjoy a long life in the land the Lord swore to give your ancestors and to you, to their descendants, a land flowing with milk and honey. For the land you are about to enter and take over is not the land like the land of Egypt from which you came, where you planted your seed and made irrigation dishes with your foot, as in a vegetable garden. Rather, in the land you will soon take over is a land of hills and valleys with plenty of rain, a land that the Lord your God cares for. He watches over it through each season of the year. If you carefully obey the commands I am giving you today, and if you love the Lord your God and serve him with all of your heart and soul, then he will send the rains in the proper seasons, the early and late rains, so you can bring in your harvest of grain, new wine, and olive oil. He will give you lush pasture land for your livestock, and you yourselves will have all you want to eat. But be careful, don't let your heart be deceived so that you turn away from the Lord and and worship other gods. If you do, the Lord's anger will burn against you. He will shut up the sky and hold back the rain, and the ground will fail to produce its harvest. Then you will quickly die in that good land that the Lord is giving you. So commit yourselves wholeheartedly to these words of mine. Tie them to your hands and wear them on your forehead as a reminder. Teach them to your children. Talk about them when you are at home and when you are on the road, when you are going to bed and when you are getting up. Write them on the doorposts of your house and your gates, so that as long as the sky remains above the earth, you and your children may flourish in the land the Lord swore to give your ancestors. Be careful to obey all these commands I am giving you. Show love to the Lord your God by walking in his ways and holding tightly to him. Then the Lord will drive out all the nations ahead of you, though they are much greater and stronger than you, and you will take over their land. Wherever you set foot, the land will be yours. Your frontiers will stretch from the wilderness in the south of Lebanon in the north, from the Euphrates River in the east to the Mediterranean Sea in the west. No one will be able to stand against you, For the Lord your God will cause people to fear and dread you, as he promised, wherever you go in the whole land. Look, today I am giving you the choice between a blessing and a curse. You will be blessed if you obey the commands of the Lord your God that I am giving you today. But you will be cursed if you reject the commands of the Lord your God and turn away from him and worship other gods you have not known before. When the Lord your God brings you into the land and helps you to take possession of it, you must pronounce the blessing at Mount Gerizim and the curse at Mount Ebal. These two mountains are west of the Jordan River in the land of the Canaanites who lived in the Jordan Valley, near the town of Gilgal, not far from the oaks of Moreh. For you are about to cross the Jordan River to take over the land the Lord your God is giving you. When you take that land and are living in it, you must be careful to obey all the decrees and regulations I am giving you today. The Lord's chosen place of worship. Deuteronomy 12:1-32. These are the decrees and regulations you must be careful to obey when you live in the land that the Lord your God, the God of your ancestors, is giving you. You must obey them as long as you live. When you drive out the nations that live there, you must destroy all the places where they worship their gods, high on the mountains, up on the hills, and under every green tree. Break down their altars and smash their sacred pillars. Burn their Asherah poles and cut down their carved idols. Completely erase the name of their gods. Do not worship the Lord your God in the way these pagan people worship their gods. Rather, you must seek the Lord your God at the place of worship he himself will choose from among all the tribes, the place where his name will be honored. There you will bring your burnt offerings, your sacrifices, your tithes, your sacred offerings, your offerings to fulfill a vow, your voluntary offerings, and your offerings of the firstborn animals of your herds and flocks. There you and your family will feast in the presence of the Lord your God, and you will rejoice in all that you have accomplished, because the Lord your God has blessed you. Your pattern of worship will change. Today all of you are doing as you please, because you have not yet arrived at the place of rest, the land the Lord your God is giving you as your special possession. But you will soon cross the Jordan River and live in the land the Lord your God is giving you. When he gives you rest from all your enemies, and you're living safely in the land, you must bring me everything I command you, your burnt offerings, your sacrifices, your tithes, your sacred offerings, and your offerings to fulfill a vow, to the designated place of worship, the place the Lord your God chooses for his name to be honored. You must celebrate there in the presence of the Lord your God with your sons and daughters and all of your servants. And remember to include the Levites who live in your town, for they will receive no allotment of land from among you. But be careful not to sacrifice your burnt offerings just anywhere you like. You may do so only at the place the Lord will choose within one of your tribal territories. There you must offer your burnt offerings and do everything I commanded you. But you may butcher your animals and eat their meat in any town whenever you want. You may freely of the animals with which the Lord your God blesses you. All of you, whether ceremonially clean or unclean, may eat that meat, just as you now eat gazelle and deer. But you must not consume the blood. You must pour it out on the ground like water. But you may not eat your offering in your hometown, neither the tithe of your grain or the new wine and olive oil, nor the firstborn of your flocks and herds, nor any offerings to fulfill a vow, nor your temporary, where did I see that word? Nor your voluntary offerings, nor your sacred offerings. You must eat these in the presence of the Lord your God at that place he will choose. Eat them there with your children, your servants, and your Levites who live in your town, celebrating in the presence of the Lord your God in all you do. And be very careful not to neglect the Levites as long as you live in your land. When the Lord your God expands your territory as he promised, and you have the urge to eat meat, you may freely eat meat whenever you want. It might happen that the designated place of worship, the place the Lord your God chooses for his name to be honored, is a long way from your home. If so, you may butcher any of the cattle, sheep, or goat the Lord has given you, and you may freely eat the meat in your hometown, as I have commanded you. Anyone, whether ceremonially clean or unclean, may eat that meat, just as you do now with gazelle and deer. But never consume the blood, for the blood is the life, and you must not consume the lifeblood with the meat. Instead, pour out the blood on the ground like water. Do not consume the blood, so that you may go well with you and your children after you, because you will be doing what pleases the Lord. Take your sacred gifts, your offerings, given to fulfill a vow, to the place the Lord chooses. You must offer the meat and blood of your burnt offerings on the altar of the Lord your God. The blood of your other sacrifices must be poured out on the altar of the Lord your God, but you may eat the meat. Be careful to obey all my commands, so that all will go well with you and your children after you, because you will be doing what is good and pleasing to the Lord your God. When the Lord your God goes ahead of you and destroys the nations and you drive them out and live in their land, do not fall into the trap of their custom and worshiping their gods. Do not inquire about their gods, saying, how do these nations worship their gods? I want to follow their example. You must not worship the Lord your God in the way the other nations worship their gods, for they perform for their gods every detestable act that the Lord hates. They even burn their sons and daughters as sacrifices to their gods. So be careful to obey all the commands I give you. You must not add anything to them or subtract anything from them. There we go. Okay, let's do our Trim Healthy Devotions. Day 70, get up there. Why won't you come up? There we go. Day 74. First, I need a little cup of my coffee. Need a little sippy sip. It's so good. It's so good. Right? I know, Faith. That's what I think every time I read that. Who would want that? All right. God heals broken lives. There are so many hurting people, not only poor people who are struggling, but also those who are affluent, and yet their lives are broken and crushed. Their marriages are tearing apart. And again, some of them are in the church, and sometimes even in leadership. And yet, God is waiting to heal. He is the healer of broken lives. When Jesus went into the synagogue at Nazareth, he picked up the scroll and read from Isaiah. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to heal the brokenhearted. Isaiah 61, 1-3, and Luke 4, 16-19. The word brokenhearted is talking about those whose lives are shattered and broken to shivers. You may be feeling utterly crushed. Your life is broken into little bits, and you can't imagine how to get it back altogether. Dear hurting one, God is waiting to heal and restore you. Lay your life before him, and let him come in with his light, his love, his healing balm, and his restoring anointing. He will do it, little by little, if you let him. Allow his living word to heal you. Your circumstances may not change right away, but God will heal your soul. You cannot cope unless your soul is whole. Let him come in and flood your life. His love will enable you to forgive and let go of bitterness, and to be healed and restored. He only is the restorer of your soul. Don't look back. Most of us know the story of Lot's wife in Genesis chapter 19. During her angelic rescue from a city doomed for destruction, she looked back and became a pillar of salt. She had lived in that city for years. She'd established a home and raised her children there. It held all of her memories. She looked back because it was comfortable and familiar, not because it was better or safer. It was actually a dangerous place to live. Even her daughters were in danger of being corrupted and abused. If God is equipping you with more of his knowledge on how to take care of your body and health of your family, you are in his rescue. Do not be like Lot's wife and look back because the past is all you know. Yes, frozen, boxed lasagna is easy, familiar, and comfortable. Yes, sugar-laden sweet tea is what you were raised on. Unfortunately, both are destructive to your health goals. Embrace the new path without nostalgia. Serene and Pearl. Always after God's heart. O Lord, give ear to my supplications. In thy faithfulness answer me, and in thy righteousness. Psalm 123:1. Prayer is the answer to everything. And by answering your problems with prayer, God answers you. But why did David ask God to hear his prayer when God can read the very thoughts of our minds? David was asking God to consider his prayer. For in Proverbs 15:29 it says, the Lord is far from the wicked, but he heareth the prayer of the righteous. God knows our prayers, but he might not always consider them. If we have left God in the ways of wickedness, then he will have to leave us. But if we are in the ways of righteousness, God will answer our prayers. I don't know that I agree with it. He leaves us, but there's kind of a wall there. Not always in the ways we want, but in the ways he knows what's best for us. How can we be sure we are in the righteousness or wickedness? The verse before 15:29 answers that question. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things. If we're not really after God's heart, then if we are really after God's heart, then we will actually make an effort. Okay. You needed to hear the part about nostalgia, Mallory, I bet, looking back on things with a... It's hard. It's hard not to look back on the things that maybe we used to enjoy all the time and not think back on those with positivity. But look at the health, all of the... Right, I agree, Jan. Look at the health, all of these vegetables and healthy foods, just especially vegetables, because I never was a vegetable eater at all. And look at the health they have brought me. They've brought me so much positive things. But we still don't look back at the healthy stuff we have to eat with thanks and gratitude. We look back at the stuff we no longer can have with longing and wishing that we could have it. And even if I have no intention of eating Doritos, I still think back to my Dorito days and think how good they were. But you know what? The only good thing about them is that they tasted good. She's right. I shouldn't be looking back at those with nostalgia and thinking, the days when I can eat Doritos. No, because Doritos wrecked me. Not just Doritos, that's just an example, but they wrecked my body. They did so much damage to me that now I'm, dealing with the fallout of. I'm dealing with a torn, possibly, waiting to find out for sure, a torn labral tear, which is like the rotator cuff of your hip. And I can guarantee that was caused by my weight. I can guarantee it, I've had car accidents and I've had slips and falls and I've had this and that and the other thing that might not have torn that if I hadn't been overweight. So should I be looking back at those things that caused me these issues with nostalgia, or should I be looking at them as the damaging things I did to my body in the past and the poison that I was feeding my body? I should be looking at the things I'm eating now with gratitude and nostalgia. I should be looking at those with nostalgia, the things that actually heal my body. I just need something that causes me to not oversleep, and then I would look at that with nostalgia. Okay, I'm going to make breakfast. I shouldn't take long because I've got most of the stuff pretty much ready. I'm going to make apple pie quinoa this morning. Carrot cake oatmeal is on my menu, and I realized that although I had carrots in my cart at Sam's Club, I didn't get them because they were sold out, and I forgot to get them at the next store when I went to the next store, so I have no carrots. So I'm not making carrot cake anything. So what's the next best thing to carrot cake? Apple pie. Absolutely, Faith. That's what you got to do. Okay, guys, I'm going to get ready for brekkie. I shouldn't be long because my quinoa is all made. I just got to grab a few things. So I will be ready in just a few minutes. I'll see you there. If not, I hope to see you back tomorrow for more devotions. Love you guys. Bye.